Welcome, Luca Finotti, for the BAIF Buenos Aires Fashion Film Festival. Officially, it's an honor to having you here. And how did you start your career as a director? Could you mention for your first working projects, for example?
Basically, I come from an economic school. So I was doing economic school in Italy. And after the degree, I took the flight. I went to New York. I asked money to the bank to study in the USA. And my first set was after 1 month of school, because my father told me, if you're not able to pay back the bank, you need to come back to work in Italy. So I started to work for this photographer that's called Mariano Vivanco on a set of his campaign with Nicola Formichetti as stylist, and the brand was Frankie Morello. I was like 21 years old, and I asked them if I could join the team for a backstage, and then became like my first fashion video.
And New York City is a great city to start your career, right? You had like a lot of inspiration, no? What inspired you?
In New York has been like super boost of energy. My inspiration came already from Milano, already from Italy, because like Italy and fashion has been always connected, especially in Milano. So like during my university, I was already working. I was doing the driver for the models. I was doing even myself, I was doing the guy standing for the fashion show to help the people to enter. I was always have this fascination. I was having this first kind of boyfriend that was involved in the fashion system as well, and I was like inspired because he was older of 2 years, so he was already working. And every time I was watching like the shooting and everything, I was like super. Nowadays, the inspiration comes from everything new that I'm able to discover. I had the opportunity to have the guidance of this director, experienced, that he does now TV series and he does the film. That once when as director, sometimes you lose your track. You're like, what's next? I've shooting in my country, I'm shooting abroad, I've shoot like every single thematic, and he told me this that has been like super powerful to me, because he told me, write for your character new stories, and I was like, what that means? Mm-hmm. And then I realized that he was suggesting me to experience new adventure in order to be able myself to express new adventure. So now, every 3 months, every 4 months, in terms of city, in terms of sports, in terms of shows or activities that I go to watch, I try to not only to experience, but even to study and to learn, because in some of them, I will have something that, that let me exit from the comfort zone and let me, be like, when I go on set, to be like, okay, now let's change the point of view of the camera, let's change the protagonist, let's change the narrative, let's change the location. That helped me to experience and learn better.
So you were involved with fashion and everything, but could you mention your first fashion film? Because it's a new whole world, no? In the fashion industry, the fashion film. When did you start?
My first fashion film, I think it's been like when I started to do it, not because of the commitment of the client, but because it was something that, I woke up and I was like, I need to film this, I need to do that. And I remember, that in the beginning of my career, I was having this need, I was having the camera and I was traveling the world, and I was filming everything, and I've been able to work on 2 different fashion films. One was Super Happy with Sebastian Sauvé, that we went to the Eiffel Tower to film with old Jeremy Scott outfit. That is a friend of mine that gave me the outfit for that, and we went to film in New York with tons of balloons. And then another one was with Simone Nobili, where that then became a project that we developed for Dazed Magazine. Because we took another kind of feeling that we wanted to express. It was the innest cars. So and that was another kind of history. One super bright, one super more more psychological, more introvert. And so those two are the ones that, I remember that I developed during the first year of my career, like when I was 21.
How do you feel like working with so many important people? Or which one, I don't know, is the most important people that you admire and you work for?
I feel lucky to be able to have been able to, to get in contact with all of them. With every one of them, I've been learning something, and they opened my mind. And this is something, like when someone now work on my set or in my team, I always, and they maybe thank or they say, I always say, like, this is something that you're going to do for someone else. So I've been having the opportunity to have a lot of people in fashion industry opening my mind. When I worked with Lady Gaga, I was like, we worked like for so many hours on the set, thanks to Mariano and thanks to Nicola. And when it finished, I was like, this girl knows what she wants. I was like, she knows. When I was walking home, I was in New York, and I was like, oh, but this is how you do it. Like, this is how you make people creating around you. It was like such an energy that, needs to go out from you, and then, arrive to everyone, and everyone is like, okay, da, 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 da. So it's something, like that. And the other thing, to me, that has been like super important, for example, with her, was like, wasn't planned, wasn't something fake. It was like, she was that. She was like all this full of creativity. Yeah, totally. And I was like, oh.
And what do you think related to the director job? Do you have to learn that in the academy or in the field? What do you think?
You need to have the passion. You need to have the desire. You need to want to push to the next level. And every set, if you work with teachers, people that is able to give when they are on set, to share, you will able to capture, and you will able to make those trick of experience yours. Honestly, feel the best school is traveling, meeting people, exit from your comfort zone. It's something that do it because it gives you like a structure. Then you can be like that. But learn how to be like that for anything in life, to jump back. But then of course, use everyone that you're able to work with to be like that.
How is the creative process in your work? Give us an example with some of your films, maybe.
Okay, so we have nowadays we have 3 different ways to the creative process. There is the direct call of the client. So like the client call me, and they give me white paper. Like I can do like everything I want.
That's the ideal one, right? Yeah, you love it.
Love it. Is the one, I'm able to do this after Nike. Like before, has always been, with someone. When I did Nike, that has been the first client that, they called me and they were like, Luca, like it's a nightclub project. We have like these shoes, we have the basket, and we want to see your vision. Do whatever you want. Yeah, win. Something that I always wanted to do, and I did exactly what was for me. For example, I'm a sport person because of the need of endorphin and the need of moving, but I've never been a body sport person. But I've always, trained for my mind, for the energy, and for everything. So when it came, I took it to Nike and I explained, I'm not Serena Williams, never will. I wish. I wish. But I can talk about what is for me Nike. So for me Nike, what is for me like sports is like training to feel better, to sweat out, to think, to motivate. And so this is what I did. I say, okay, so I choose this new basketball court that was a donation of another brand actually in the neighborhood of Milano. And I made arriving 45 guys and girls from all over the world, not only sport person. There was like.
Do you think that you have any aspect of your personality that is reflecting your films, like in a specific, aspect of you? Do you have any of words that reflect that? For example, this one?
I've been directing from when I was 21. So that means that, like, I'm now 34. So like, I'm getting there, I'm getting to understand and to divide from like my personal life and my working life. In my 20s, so, I was suffering from love. I was like putting in the movie and like putting that song and struggling myself. I was happy of love. I was like doing everything colorful and powerful. Now I learned that, like, I want to, directing is a way to share a message. And it's a way to make someone else living something during those minutes that then maybe they will emulate. You know what I mean? I took now with a little more of responsibility, trying to understand that, we are all human. So like,
non so dove ma insieme. Non so dove ma I love that message. How do you make up?
Non so dove ma insieme. I don't know where, but together. Like this one, for example, come from my working with this brand MSGM and with my friendship with the designer that is called Massimo Giorgetti, that is like illuminated. Like, this is another person, like Massimo, for example, gave me my first commercial. I was living in New York. I was working with Dolce and Gabbana. But I was doing a project that was having maybe a concept coming by someone else. For example, I've been always having this kind of love and interest into bringing different culture into the contents, because like, as a gay guy, the first time I was feeling really represented was like when I see Brokeback Mountain. And it took me like 18 years, like maybe reflect on people's life, but it hasn't been, aren't the blockbuster ones.
How do you choose, for example, one of the most important roles maybe, the models, right? Or the casting call. You feel, I don't know, the vibe, the eyes, or the body. I don't know, what is important for you when you're casting?
Allora, if it was for me, like, if it's like 100% Luca casting, it's someone that has captured my attention because it's out of the box. Like someone that, like there is other things that are value. But he was giving me so much hope and so much, like power, that I had the opportunity to call him and to meet him. Because to me, it's like, when I have someone on set, I'm able from top to bottom, from left to right, to have someone in front of the camera that I'm gonna make feel empowered. He's gonna empower myself because he's gonna teach me something. You know what I mean?
And nowadays, Luca, we are living in a digital world. It's more than ever. It's reality, and you have a lot of fashion films that makes viral. So, what makes a fashion film go viral, right?
One that is like you are really talking with no filter about what's going on. Every media is covering it, but nobody is like saying it right or saying it. When you're able to do it, we all think the same. So, like, for example, to me, Nike was that. Is the one that bring hope and joy. Like, when you work on media, we all have different feelings. That happen even with the songs. But when I did Non so dove mai insieme, I was like, if I open the news, if I watch everything that is going on in the world, like, bye, I'm not shooting. Then I said to myself, okay, like, I reconnect, I do the structure of the things that make sense, and I say, okay, what I've been missing the most, what is something that, I love the most, what is something that represents what I feel, and it's something that I wish to everyone. Okay, this is it. It's love, it's affection, it's people together, it's happiness, it's smile, it's dancing, it's everything that, I wish to everyone to get back to that. I didn't study to be a lawyer. I studied to give these 5 minutes, these 3 minutes, these 7 minutes of like relief, and this is what I did. Yeah.
It was awesome. And look, it's so nice to hear, and we learn a lot with you. I think all the people in the Vibe is going to be really happy. But finally, the last question about advice for sure advices for the young people starting their career as a director? What do you recommend to them?
I recommend to them many things. I recommend to them to believe in the work that they do, believe in the project that they do, and believe in the fact that it takes time. It really takes time to learn, to improve, to be part of a bigger picture. For example, when I draw from a big commercial, I take my team or I take some time to do like something that is like completely random, completely a shooting of like whatever. So because I can experiment. So because like that are the most, there is no pressure, there is no client, there is no one else. It's just the pure joy of making something new happen, and you will discover a new chapter of what you don't know. Sometimes when you are a director, when you are in the film industry, it's because you want to say something. Sometimes it's because maybe you have even going through something in your life. So you feel the need to bring that on screen or bring that somehow to everyone else. It's of course part of the mission, but to remind them to maybe, like write things that they haven't been able to experience, that are like good things, good adventure, good perspective, good meetings, good casting, because they're gonna build new stories that are gonna actually bring them out of the bubble and live a new bubble of things. Yes. Like living a new experience. So this is my suggestion. It's like, don't know, like sometimes, I have like guys that come to me and they tell me, like, I have this problem, or my family has this problem, I want to talk about this issue. And I say, talk about something instead that is like, something that you think, that you would love to achieve, the best of what you would love to be. You know what I mean? Like, try to talk about that. And you're gonna be surrounded by people that are gonna give you the power, and you're gonna spend time in doing something that you didn't know you were doing. So this is my best suggestion.
Right, that's a huge advice. Thank you very much, Luca. It was an honor to having you in the Buenos Aires Fashion Film Festival, Baif. We learned a lot about your experiences, your thoughts. You are so inspiring, and we hope to see you in Argentina really, really soon, please. Okay?
I can wait to come back to Argentina.
Please.
I can wait to come back.